Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how
Hey.
y'all doing?
Fine.
Well, that's good.
It's me.
Sister called this morning.
Yeah, finally talked to her.
Huh?
I finally talked to her.
Well, they's off in Missouri hunting things.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't get them.
Yeah, Mark's on the line.
Yeah, I hear him.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fine.
Well, I'm proud, son. What you doing on the work you doing?
I work for a Medicare HMO,
Yeah, that's what you told me.
and I just kind of make sure that they stay within Medicare regulations and stay in
And what?
compliance with the
And
rules.
and it is for what kind of with Medicare?
And HMO, I manage care.
I mean, what is that you?
Oh, the name?
No, you said something about equipment.
No, no. I just make sure they
He's
run
changed
things within
jobs.
the rules.
Oh,
He has changed jobs since we talked to you in Dallas
oh,
when he
you
went there.
have.
Yeah.
Well, that's
He
good.
Oh
didn't.
yeah, it's a different place. I
Just the
changed.
bookkeeping kind.
Kind of. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that's what you're used to doing.
Right. All right.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm still sitting here, going back next Sunday to have heart surgery.
I know, that's what Mom
Do you,
I'm telling you, it is something I have never dreamed of.
do you know if it's going to be an angioplasty or a bypass?
I don't know. It's at Baylor
Y-
Hospital.
yeah.
It'll be a bypass or something. But he didn't tell me. Just I've got to have it. And see, I went over there this last time for colon surgery.
They didn't do it.
No,
Because they were.
they're testing me. I have never in my life had to go to that many places and lay down on tables for 3.5 hours and being every bone in my body inspected. I just got so tired. I was supposed to go to another doctor the next day, and I told him no. I was worn out.
Mm.
So then this new fella comes in and says that, well, I laid under a thing for hours, 3.5 hours on tables one week, and had this thing going over me, over the top, back and forth, and that's when they found my heart trouble.
Mm.
And I said, if I ever get off of this thing, I won't get on another one.
Mm.
And that's what, then the doctor comes in and tells me I got to have surgery. It's on the side of my heart blocked.
Yeah.
So I'll live again.
Well.
After all this, I got to go back to Baylor where I had my breast surgery. And it is the best doctors that I've ever seen. All of them that Kathleen found.
Right.
So I'm thankful that I can go back and have it,
Yeah.
then wear out again.
Well.
Sister called this morning, said you called her.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really do travel, don't
Yeah, they do.
they? Went to Missouri, and every time they go, they bring back a whole house full of something or another. But they have a good time.
Yeah,
Wish we had somebody to travel with.
I know it.
Yeah, we're just the shit out of hard luck. But how's Mark and his little family?
Oh, I'm fine. We're doing good.
Well,
Staying cool.
Huh?
Trying to stay cool because it's been kind of hot up here.
Oh, I know it. But you hadn't had any storms like the other part of the country.
And some storms. No, it never really did rain here. It was all around us, but it never did.
Tornadoes that tore up the whole U.S. and A, all but Louisiana and around in here. Well, we're lucky.
Yeah.
God's been good to all of us.
Yeah.
I never hear from Cyrus or Pat. I got their number and I called and don't never hear.
Well, I don't know what they're doing now, if they're driving a truck still or what.
Well, somebody said they're not,
Well, I don't
but
know.
he may be into something else.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so thankful Mark got a good job.
Yeah, that's a pretty
James, you
nice
know,
one.
quit the juveniles down here.
He
He's
did. He's
working
been
in
there a
a,
long time.
huh?
He's been there a long time.
Oh, they wore him out. When he'd come home, his old feet was swollen, and then the people in Coshada rednecks, they'd come in half drunk, sit down. He had to walk all night long, sometimes 12 hours, all night checking, and so he just turned in his uniforms and quit, and he's working in a video store in Shreveport.
Hmm. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
If he likes it.
Oh, yeah.
You always have a movie to watch now. He's
All
working
kind of movies.
in
Yeah, he's really enjoying it. That was a burden down in that part of the country with them
Mhm.
rednecks.
Yeah.
And I think they fired about 35 people while he was working there.
Well, a lot less stressful. He doesn't have to be fighting people all the time anymore.
Huh?
He doesn't have to be fighting people all the time anymore.
No, but he felt sorry for those children. Some of the employees there would run them and mace them, and James didn't like that. He could control them, but those other people, them rednecks in Shadow, was mean to them. And that's bad, because the children there to be trying to be helped.
Yeah.
But that's about all I know. Ugly. I think about y'all all the time. Pray for all the family.
Yeah, we sure have missed being able to see you. We're trying to figure out how we can see you again.
Well, after I get back, maybe my heart will be beating better.
Yeah.
I can hit the road if this arthritis will lighten up.
Yeah.
Well, you may have had that a while and never known it.
Well, that's
So-
what I know.
And so you may
Never
have all
even
kinds of
thought
energy.
about my heart. I had so many arthritis pains.
You may
So
have
I'm
all
just
kinds of
thankful
energy
I
when you get
got
done with
some
that.
good, huh?
Said you may have all kinds of energy when you get done with that.
Well, my old bones are wore out, but I'm still walking.
Yeah.
Be 80 in January,
Mm.
and that's hard. I can't hardly think about getting that old, but S is 2 years older, Else is 4 years older, and Savannah's hitting up close to 90,
Yeah.
so we've been lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Thanking God every day and praying for all of my family, y'all and everybody.
Well, that's good. Real good. But, we just wanted to talk to you. Mark always asks about you.
Well, I know that little old fella. I think all our trips we made together and how we had a good time. And I think back, reminiscing. And,
Yeah.
you know, we love y'all.
We've had some good times, a lot of laughs.
Oh, I mean, we really have. Yep, we've been lucky.
Yeah.
More than a lot of people.
You were always the life of the party.
Oh, I couldn't fart as loud as you could. But time does march on, as old Lee would say.
Yeah.
He really did. Was an entertainer when he got started telling lies.
Mm-hmm.
But old Alice came. She's living in Wyoming. She come down to get her van from her daughters. And they had to give her money to go back to Wyoming, and she gets more money on 2 husbands than they do.
Mm.
So she's a con artist.
Lord.
I saw her over there, Kathleen and me, when she was there.
What were you telling me the other day about Essie when you were little and she had...
Essie and Glenn, when we first moved from Oakdale and living in that big old house down there Morrison had us living in before we moved up toward Foreman. Well, Essie'd hold me down and Glenn to put a dried chicken turd in my mouth.
Mm.
Oh.
Essie was like, I mean, she's still in some kind of, all kind of messes like that toward people. But putting a chicken turd in my mouth, and then she'd have me to get into an old tire and roll down a hill and hit a tree down at the bottom. And we played in the spring down there, and then we bathed down there, all of us. That's the only place we had water to bathe. And we looked out one time when we was down there, and a big alligator laying on a log right across from us.
Mm.
So that broke up our bath.
Mm.
Oh, no.
But she'd get on a horse, and me right behind her, no saddle, just a bridle, and ride down to where Mama's nephews butchered, and we'd go get meat, and just like running a mile a minute.
Mm.
I don't know why we didn't fall off, but I did one time. But she is still that bad. Poor thing, all bent over.
Yeah.
But she's still a jokester.
Well, y'all lived on Daddy's land down there?
Yeah, Morrison had bought that land after his old uncle died out in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Then him and the two sisters bought that land. That's where we lived, moved from Oakdale. That's where, see, he and Papa worked in the woods, cutting timber for years. That's how Papa met him.
Oh.
And then when the old sisters and him run into Melissa and Maddie, got all this money, then he bought that place.
Mm.
And they would come down there, the two old maids, and can and fix things and this and that and the other, and treat us like little slaves. But see, the old house was old, and it had a kitchen built away from it was a big hall down the middle of it, and two bedrooms on each side of the hall. And this kitchen was built like away from the house, but right at the back door. And that's where Catherine would stay doing all her cooking.
Mm.
Glenn was about 4 years old, I guess. And I was just 2 years older when we moved there.
Mm.
And then after Papa couldn't get much done and no place to, no help, then he bought that place up there out of Fort Bend, and we moved up there.
Mm. Well, where did Daddy live on the place?
He didn't. He just come down there once, and he'd sleep in one of the bedrooms.
Yeah.
But he'd have to go back to up there with Matt and Linda all the time.
So that's how Daddy and Mother met?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that was an interesting story.
Well, I was proud I got to tell you. I thought you knew it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, poor Catherine standing in that kitchen cooking all the time for all of us. She was the best one out of the whole family.
Mm.
Really.
Well.
Taking care of Glenn like he is a little rabbit and this and that and the other.
So the house y'all lived in, was that in the same place that Daddy built his house, or was it across on that other hill over there?
No, that old house was torn down. It was nearly rotted out when we got there. And then that's where he built their house.
Yeah.
The White House.
Yeah. Hmm.
And he had that whole big field down there and the bayou and all that.
And so y'all took a bath in the spring down there?
Yeah. Washed. Went down there with their big wash pot and built fires and had to wash down there because we just had an old well right there in front of the house that didn't have enough water in it to hardly drink.
Mm.
And that spring was flowing into the bayou till we saw that big outlet. That's where Papa and all of us would have to go down there to take a bath at night. Really enjoyed it.
Well, that old pump that's down there at the spring, did y'all use that?
No, I can't remember.
There's an old pump down there
Well, that's what we used then.
that you had to prime it, putting water in it.
Yeah, yeah. And you see, then they grew sugar cane and made syrup down there for years. Some way or another. It was a big, big barn.
Well, I never knew all that, so I'm glad you
Well, I wish
told
I
it.
could have wrote it too. I think I can't remember yesterday, but I can remember back when I was a child.
Yeah.
And Essie and Glenn getting the chicken turd in my mouth. She's always something else.
Well,
Glenn's doing pretty good, they say.
Yeah. I hope your surgery turns out good, and we'll be checking on you in Dallas.
Okay, dear.
Me
Good to hear from Mark.
Yeah, you too.
So, tell James hello. And
Yeah, he's here
here.
trying to rig up the trash to take out.
Oh, I thought he was cooking. I heard cans rattling.
No.
Well.
He cooks.
Yeah, I know. Mark's starting to cook too.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Just a little bit.
Well, you'll get you a cookbook.
That's how I learned.
Yeah. Me too, part of it. I do very little cooking now. James cooks and this and that and the other.
Yeah.
He's a big help.
I know it. You're blessed to have him there.
Oh, I mean.
So.
And Peggy Walker just got back from the hospital yesterday.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Poor thing. She's in bad shape.
Well.
But we're doing good, thank God. Hadn't had a storm yet.
Well, that's good.
It'll rain every once in a while.
It's rained here ever since I got up. Still raining.
I see it on TV. Y'all having more than we're having.
What's your weather like today, Mark?
Sunny.
Sunny, no rain.
Is it hot up there, Mark?
Not so much today as it has been the past week. It's been up in the...
Yeah.
And we got up to 100 a couple of days.
That's what I saw. I watch all the news from all over the U.S.A. Showing everything. And think about you and our good times we used to have.
I know. We've had plenty of...
How's Elvis?
Oh, he's fine.
How old is he?
I'd say about 9, isn't he? 9 or 10.
Yeah.
About 9?
About 9 or 10, in between 9 and 10.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
He came here, was it the first winter we lived in this apartment, or was it the next year? I can't remember. But I'll be here. I've been here in this apartment 9.5 years.
Well,
so
about when he got there.
So he's about 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, between 9 and 10 somewhere.
Well, this old cat that Boyce and Rosalie left out here, I'm still feeding. She looks like a skeleton, but she can eat like I don't know what. And that was their first cat to have all them kittens by. So she's living longer than I ever thought.
Yeah, and your 2 little birds got killed, you said.
Yeah.
Oh.
That
What
was
happened?
something.
Your birds?
Yeah.
What happened to your birds?
Well, them Ned's boys, they'd come up here to plant me some flowers in the yard, and opened the door. That little old girl would do that every time she came, and they got out, and the dogs killed them. And I told them, don't come back to my house again. after doing that.
Yeah.
But they come and help me in the yard and this and that and the other, but the damn dogs followed them every time, run the cats off.
Mm.
So I just told them never come back and bring them dogs no more.
Mm.
So they haven't.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I can't fool with things like that.
Mm-mm.
But those are, oh man, when did that happen?
Huh?
When did that happen?
Just before I come back from Dallas. I just been back a week, and I got to go back next Sunday. I stayed over there a month, and all that seemed like 2 months, testing and carrying on like that.
Yeah. So I know James was not. Was he upset about the birds?
Yes.
Mm.
And it just said today, why didn't they come and apologize? I said they don't know how.
Mm.
But that's life.
Was he there, or he was gone too?
He's working.
He was working.
Yeah.
And just come and found the birds dead.
Yeah.
Mm. Well.
So I told him, do not come back here again.
Mm-mm.
Ned's boy.
Good grief.
And that girl would come and just open the door. See, James built a huge case for them.
Yeah.
And they'd just open the door and reach in there and do what they wanted to do, and the birds got out.
Mm.
Or they let it out.
Yeah.
It was a male that could sing Andy Griffith's theme song and all kind of singing you ever heard. And the little old girl laid about 12 eggs every April, and he wouldn't even get close to her to let them hatch.
Mm.
So I still got the eggs.
Oh.
But that's life.
I know it.
Kathleen hated it worse than anything because she gave them to me and said, I'm going to get you some more. I said, oh, hell no, you're not. Somebody to come along and kill them. And I can't take care of all that anyway.
You'd have to put a lock on that door.
Well, and cleaning out where they shit all over the papers all the time, too.
I know it.
So I'm thankful I'm just sitting here complaining. And I know we love y'all.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to visit one day.
Yeah. I hope it's soon.
Yeah.
So.
I'll let you hear.
Yeah, we're gonna check on you when you're going this coming Saturday, right?
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. So we'll be checking.
We meet her, and James takes me to the niece's house. We meet over there, and she'll have some cooking done to bring for us to eat, and head back to Dallas, and I'll have to sit there with her 2 pugs and 2 black cats all day.
You have your own bedroom and.
Oh yeah, bath and everything.
Oh, nice.
It's a big house.
Yeah.
She's got 3 bedroom house, 2 baths, and a big yard, front yard and backyard.
Yeah.
And from the living room watching TV, I have to walk through the dining room into the kitchen, and that's about a mile
Mm.
to answer the phone.
Mm.
But I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And a dog laying up in my lap half the time.
Mm.
Little pugs.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm thankful I can help her.
yeah.
She has really helped me.
Yeah.
Missing work, taking me to the doctors, and
Mm.
she has to work late to make it up. So I'm sitting there with the dogs and the cats.
Yeah.
And, she got them cats in Nashville.
Yeah.
And she calls the girl, Bessie Smith. That was the first black blues singer.
Mm-hmm.
And she calls the old tomcat, BB.
Yeah, BB King.
And he's about dead.
Mm.
I don't know what it is, but his hair is all coming out on his head, and she's spent some kind of money on them.
Mm. Well.
But he could. See, she's got a high wall in the backyard, and he can jump over that. I think that's where he's been fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But she's spending a lot of money on them animals. Henry, for one. That's the little gray pug.
Yeah.
And old Bo is a black girl.
Mm.
And I enjoy being there, but they are a mess to take care of.
Yeah.
And I thank y'all for letting me hear about you and me complaining about me. And I'll let you hear.
Okay.
And we love y'all.
We love you. Well, bye.